To the average person following the Depp-Heard trial, you probably think Johnny is in the lead. And while you may be right, there's more to the story. Seems like things may not be completely great in Depp's camp, as experts have identified a couple of obstacles that could prevent him from winning, and they're probably right. Could Johnny lose the case? Does Amber have new evidence? With the current week-long break in the Depp-Heard trial, after the parade of witnesses, Depp is reportedly taking time off to rest amid everything. According to a source close to the actor, they said Johnny is in Europe taking some time out to rest for a few days, hang out with old friends, playing music, and is taking long walks in the countryside. While this would normally be nothing more than a harmless human need, experts in the legal sector say it could pass the wrong message to the jury about Depp and his claims. Speaking to Fox News, Daniel Guttenplan, who has represented clients on both sides of high-profile defamation cases, has explained that Depp still has an uphill battle to win his case and secure the $50 million judgment he's seeking. Guttenplan's analysis comes from years of experience in the courtroom and close observation of the trial between the former celebrity couple. In his words, as most defamation plaintiffs have, Depp and his team have an uphill battle and have a challenge in proving the case because they have to prove, first of all, that anything that was said in the op-ed and Heard's testimony is completely false. The media, entertainment, and IP attorney told Fox News Digital. Speaking on the network, the legal expert explained some of the complications in the ongoing case that the average person probably wouldn't notice. Starting from the genesis of the case, he said, the Washington Post piece in question, of course, doesn't mention Mr. Depp by name, although his camp will argue, and I think it's a compelling argument, that a reasonable reader will assume that the article was written about Mr. Depp. But of course, it doesn't just not mention him. It also does not mention any specific instances of abuse or events. So it doesn't say, on this date, at this time, or at this place, this thing happened. He did this to me. It just generally references being a victim of abuse. He then went on to explain that Depp's team are burdened with proving all the facts of the case if they're ever going to get a chance at winning. He continued, so let's remember the burden of proof here, Guttenplan added. Johnny is the plaintiff. He has to prove by a preponderance of the evidence and convince the juries that literally none of this happened. It's one thing if the jurors think that Ms. Heard is embellishing a piece of this, or maybe this didn't quite happen the way that it happened. But to win, he would have to convince a jury that it's all fabricated, that it's all made up. He added, truth, as we know, is an absolute defense to a defamation claim. So if Ms. Heard can establish that she is a victim of abuse, even if we are assuming for sake of argument that she was talking about Johnny Depp, then he can't win his claim. Although he recognized their shortcomings, the lawyer also spoke about some of Depp's greatest resources, most of which are what have given him the upper hand in the case thus far. Speaking about the chances of Depp winning, Guttenplan maintained the week-long adjournment couldn't have come at a better time for Depp and his legal team, given the wild details that have emerged. It gives Depp's team ample time to prepare for Heard's cross-examination. They're going to poke every little hole in her testimony that they can, and they're going to try to create so many inconsistencies that they're going to tell the jury, if she can lie to you and misrepresent or change her story in these small ways, the entire testimony's polluted. You can't possibly believe any of it, Guttenplan stated. In addition to that, he also mentioned that Depp's team actually knows exactly how to try this case. Explaining his point, he said, Depp's team strategy has been, as you've seen in open court, to sling as much mud as possible, to discredit Ms. Heard as much as possible. And that'll be what the cross-examination will focus on. He then added, that's what they're going to ask the jury to believe. They're going to make these tiny pinprick holes in the testimony and then to try to pull those apart as big as they can and hope the jurors will frankly think she was just acting. Which is another challenge to the case, is what we're dealing with two people who play roles for a living. So where does the truth start and end? Becomes a lot more difficult. Just like him, several other fans online have been maintaining that Depp indeed has the upper hand. One user wrote, I'm not a Depp fan. I think he has severe substance abuse issues, but I'm convinced with the information I've seen that she's the abuser who elicited responses from him. I'm sure he did hurt her physically, and no, it's not right no matter the circumstances, but I get the feeling that she abused the shit out of him. Another user agreed, saying, "Precisely. I wish people would stop making excuses for her when there's a lot of evidence that has been presented to court that she lied, manipulated the situation, and even admits to abusing him." However, even with everything looking like Depp has the upper hand, Guttenplan has maintained that it would be unwise to draw any conclusions at this stage of the trial, which would be akin to taking a look in the mirror when you're halfway done with a haircut. Of course, he has a point. We'll just have to wait and see how things turn out. That's it for now. See you on the next one.